Hey, grade eights. All right, so let's try our first math lesson using Zoom. And I have a few things I have here with me today. We're going to use the internet, we're going to use the ePearson textbook, and we're going to use a document camera I have set up. So hopefully it all works and hopefully it's engaging. And I appreciate your feedback later after the lesson. I'll try my best here. Hey, grade eights. I am located in my wife's sewing room right now. What I realized was, as I watched the video I made last night, there's a few edits I like to make and things I forgot to talk about. So I'm going to add those in. So you might see, you might hear a little record scratch, and then I'm going to interrupt and make some points and maybe emphasize some stuff that I didn't last night. All right. Plus, I heard if you want to get your views up on YouTube, you should have car chases, explosions, and cute kittens doing things. So I'm going to also add that in randomly. Have fun. Enjoy. So today we're going to be focusing on lesson 6.6, creating a table of values. If you turn to page 351 in your textbook, um, that's what we're going to be going off of today. So you can see it right there. Um, I know we touched on this lesson right before the pandemic hit and we weren't at school anymore. So it's more of a refresher, but I think it's a good lesson to kind of refresh our memories with. And yeah, we'll just see what you remember and we'll go through it again. I'm excited. I'm excited to try and teach it this way. So what I want you to do right now is take out a piece of paper, if you can find one, and then you are going to write down your title like we normally do. 6.6, table of values, add a little color in there. Why don't you? Make it look a little nice. There's some key terms we are going to be looking at today. So let's take a look at, so we are going to be looking at certain vocabulary today. We are going to be looking at a table of values, with input, output. We're going to be talking about linear relations and an ordered pair. Okay. The key points today will be a linear relation can be represented in a table of values on a graph or as a two variable equation. That's a lot of mathematical terms there, but don't worry, we'll make it very easy for you. Okay, so you might be like, Mr. Norman, where am I ever going to use this in real life? I will tell you. One of my favorite places I've discovered to eat pizza is at a place called Red Swan Pizza, and I happen to pull up their menu here. Red Swan is over by our school there. We are gonna take a look here and see how we could use a create a table of values to figure out how much pizza will cost. Okay, so let's view our menu here. We are in Saskatchewan. We will get out of the Saskatoon area, go down to Regina here. Sure, we'll use Regina South on Albert. Now, take out. Okay, so take a look here. We are going to create our own pizza, and this is where it comes in handy. I know sometimes it's easy just to order pizzas that they have for you already prepared, but I like to create my own pizza. If you take a look here, I'm just going to go for more of a traditional crust type guy. They have great crust at Red Swan Pizza. So I'm also a hungry guy. So I'm going to order a 14-inch large pizza. Okay. So now take a look. How much does a 14-inch large pizza cost us if we're just going to order the pizza? And that's with nothing on it. It is $11.95. You know what? That's actually a pretty good deal. So let's look at traditional crust. We're going to look at our ingredients here. So here's where we get to have some fun with our pizza. I am a traditional type pizza sauce guy, so I will go there. Some people like ranch, I've heard of. I've never tried sour cream, honey garlic. Pesto would be interesting. Anyway, so we are going to go pizza sauce on the whole thing. And here we go. Now, here's the actual mathematical lesson today. So let's take a look at this. We ordered a large pizza, right? And the cost of the large pizza was $11.95. It says right there. Okay. Now, if we look here, if I just order pizza with pizza sauce and nothing on it, pretty boring. So I'm going to start adding toppings. The cool thing about Red Swan Pizza is whether it is meat toppings you see here, which look at all those options, that is crazy. Veggie toppings as well. What do you notice about the price for veggie toppings for a large compared to veggie toppings for a large meat? They're the same price. So it's going to be really easy for us to figure out the price of a pizza today using that. And as well, cheese toppings is the exact same price for a large. So $2.75 for every time I click on one of these cheese toppings. All right. So the question is, if we're ordering a pizza, how much will it cost? Well, it actually depends. We need to know how many toppings you're going to have. And if you know how many toppings you can have, then you can figure out the price of your pizza, right? So let's take a look at our price is for a pizza, $11.95, and it's $2.75 for every additional pizza. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Okay. Now we are going to go to the document camera. Okay, so let's write down some of the things we know. For a large pizza, it is $11.95, and for one topping, it is $2.75. Okay. Okay, this is good to know that we know how much the pizza costs, the base price, and we know how much a topping is. So now we can just kind of go around and play around with the app and or the internet, and make great tasting pizza and see how much it would cost. And then we'll see how this relates to our table of values. Okay, so let's go back up here to the website. So here's our website. Now, I'm just going to make a pizza for myself here. I am going to keep it simple. I want pepperoni on my pizza, and I want it on the whole pizza. Boom, right there. Okay, perfect. So, a couple things we're going to do today that we talked about. We are going to figure out how much this pizza cost. We're going to do it in a couple different ways. We can make a table of values, is what they talked about. And we are also going to look at the two variable linear equation method. Okay, so first things first. Let's see if we can write an equation to figure out what our pizza costs. So here we go. The cost of our pizza is equal to, well, we know that a large pizza is $11.95. So that is never going to change, right? But the thing that will determine the eventual cost is how many toppings we choose to put on that pizza, okay? So we know the cost is $11.95 for the base price of the pizza. Now we have to add $2.75 per topping. So we have to times every topping we have. So what we're going to do is we are going to put that as the letter T. So our equation to figure out how much a large pizza, a Red Swan pizza costs will be $11.95 plus $2.75 times the number of toppings. So all right, grade 8s, here's the one part I want to mention. I talked earlier about vocabulary. Some of the things you might need to know is input and output. Well, in this case, in our input-output chart, the input would be the toppings, and the output would be the cost of the pizza. All right, so I want you to think about that as you see this example moving forward. Depending on the number of toppings you have, that's going to affect the cost of the pizza. Okay, so there's your input and output. In my case, I just ordered one topping. Kind of boring pizza. Well, if I figure this out, I'd go C is equal to $11.95 plus 2.75. And in this case, I'm only ordering one topping, so I put that there. I put it in brackets, right? Because T is a variable, which just means unknown. But in this case, we know that I'm ordering a boring pepperoni pizza, and it's only one topping. So using order of operations, I know if I'm looking at this equation, I have to multiply, do my multiplication first. So $2.75 times 1 is 2.75. Bring that down, plus my $11.95. And that will give me the total cost of my pizza. So my total cost of this pizza is well, let's do some mental math here, folks. So the total cost of my pizza is $11.95 plus $2.75. So let's add my 11 and my 2 together. That gives me 13. Then I got $13.95 plus my 75 cents. So take that 5. So that gives me 14. And that leaves me with 70. So the total cost of a large one topping pizza at Red Swan is $14.75. That's great. Now, let's say we're a little more adventurous in our ordering of our pizza. So let's go back. Let's go back to that Red Swan menu. Okay. Now, in this case, let's get a little adventurous here with our thing. So let's get out of the pepperoni. You know what? Bacon, big bacon fan. What else looks good on me? Bacon and ham. Sure. That looks great. Butter chicken. Why not? All right. Anybody else see something they like? Ooh, there is some spicy stuff on here. Lemon shrimp. Yeah, sure. So, boom. There we go. I guess we should have some veggies on there. Let's make it controversial. This video might go viral on this one right here. Pineapple. There you go. Some spinach and roasted potatoes and garlic. This is delicious. Okay, so let me see. We have how many veggies? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how many meat toppings we had. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well that keeps it easy. Let's go figure out the price of this pizza. Okay, so 4 and 4. All right, so if we go to our camera here, I'm going to go to a new page. Here we go. The cost of the pizza, so C, is equal to $11.95 plus $2.75 times each additional topping, right? So let's figure this out. So the cost of this new pizza is $11.95 for my large plus 2.75. And now we had 4 veggie toppings and 4 meat toppings, so that gives us a grand total of 8. You guys notice I missed doing something here. This looks really weird. I missed one key thing. What was the one thing I have to do here? Yeah, add the brackets, because remember what we talked about in algebra? What do brackets actually mean in algebra? The brackets mean if it's right beside a number and there's nothing between that number and the bracket, it just means times, right? So in this case, $2.75 times 8. All right, so we'll take a look at that here. Okay, so to figure out how much this pizza is going to cost, we have to multiply 8 times 275. So some of you might be able to do that in your head. If not, no big deal. I am going to go grab my calculator app here I have. I'll share with you. Perfect. So we're going to go 2.75 times 8, and that gives me $22. So I'm going to go write that down right here. $22 plus my $11.95. All right, you guys see that in the top window there? Well, let's erase out of this, or we just go $22 plus my 11.5 equal to the cost. The cost of this pizza today is $33.95, and that's for an 8-topping pizza. So there you go. That's a real world example that you can use when ordering pizza from Red Swan Pizza. So the other thing this lesson asks us to do is to create a table of values. So in this case, that's quite simple. What you do is you'd write your equation. And so for this pizza example, instead of C, the cost of the pizza, we're going to replace it with Y is equal to $11.95 plus $2.75 a topping. Instead of the T, we're going to replace that with X. And now what we're going to do is just create an X, Y table of values. Okay, so think of it this way. Imagine I chose to have 0 toppings. So 0 toppings. Well, how much would my total cost of my pizza be? Well, we just substitute 0 in here, and 0 times any number will give you 0. So we're just left with $11.95. What if we went back to my pepperoni pizza example? 1 topping. Well, we substitute 1 into X over here and go $2.75 times 1, which is $2.75, added to the $11.95. So I think we said that the 2 and 11 is $13.95, $14.70, right? That's how much it costs. So we can keep going. And the beautiful thing about math is it's all about patterns, and you will start to see patterns emerge. When you go and look at the questions on page 356, 357, they give you some easier XY charts to start off with, and you'll start noticing some patterns. So here we go, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, let's take a look. You can fill out that chart on your own here. Try that. Let's go to 5. So let's say we have a 5-topping pizza right here. I want to know how much this is, so we can just fill out a graph. All I do is I substitute my 5 in for my X up here, and I can do that on my calculator. So what I want to do is I want to go 5 toppings times $2.75 a topping. That is equal to $13.75, right? And then I'm going to add my base price of my pizza, which is $11.95. That gives me a grand total of $25.70. Okay. So what I want you to do right now is see if you can figure out how much the Red Swan pizzas, the large Red Swan pizzas, would cost if you had a 2-topping, a 3-topping, and a 4-topping. Okay. And after you've done that, I would like you to go to your math textbook and work your way through some problems. Okay. All right, grade 8s. There was one thing I also wanted to mention that I forgot in the video last night. Was like, if we go back and look at these key points here, I want to talk about a linear relation, and it can be represented in a table of values. So we've already done that with our input, output, number of toppings affects the cost of our pizza. But here's the second one, on a graph. I want to talk about that in a second. I figured out there's something really cool to use if you don't have graph paper at home, which I don't have graph paper at home right now, and I'm not sure how many of you do as well. Okay, I want to talk about that. And we already did the two variable equation. So we will talk about the graph. Check this out. All right, grade 8s, I want you to check out on E. Pearson here. Over here, if you hit down these this menu bar, scroll down over here, you'll see something cool. Under the toolbox, I've already opened mine up, but it'll look something like this. Toolbox, you want to expand it. So many cool virtual manipulatives on here. We are looking for one in particular. We want to go to the coordinate grapher. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to graph our input-output chart, our X and Y, in this case, our toppings versus the cost of a pizza. Now, before we get into that, I do not want a full plane. I just want to deal with one quadrant. So you'll see now I have this. And I want to set my axes a bit different. So the X-axis is the horizontal axis, and the Y-axis is the up and down. So the X is going to be our toppings. And we don't need it to be 20. In our case, at most 10. I think the example I give you had 8 toppings, right? Now the Y-axis, we'll start at 0. No need for anything negative. No pizza would be negative dollars. And I think we will go all the way up to $40. And every step will be worth 5. Okay. Now, if you notice, see my graph now has my my x-axis over here, 0 to 10. That's going to be our toppings, and our price of our pizza will be on our y-axis. So remember, when we had 0 toppings, the price of our pizza was $11.95. There's our first point. Now, when I had a pepperoni pizza, which was 1 topping, the price of my pizza was $14.70. Perfect. There's my second point. Do you notice that? Now we're going to start looking for patterns and see if we can find a pattern here. When we had 5 toppings on our pizza, as in our example we just showed you there, the price was $25.70. There's my next point. And if you remember that really weird pizza I ordered early in the lesson, I had 8 toppings, and remember the price? It was $33, and let me just check it out here really quick. $33.95. $33.95. Now let's guess where that point's going to be here. Do you see? Now we're starting to look for a pattern here. If you notice, all these green dots start to form a line. If I could connect this dot to this dot, it would be a straight line, and any number of toppings in between there would fit in on this line somewhere. So you can use this as an example. You can use this to graph points in case you don't have graph paper at home. I just think it's cool, and I'd rather do this than use graph paper anyways. So it's an option for you in the toolbox. Okay, so good luck with that. Right here. So you're going to go to page 356 in your textbook. Okay, so you're going to go to page 356. And I'd like you to start at number 4. And you can work your way through a couple of those questions. All right. Create your table of your table of values. You can do up to question 8. You know what? We'll go up to question 9, 4 to number 9. If you do those, I think you'll have a good grasp of this concept. You can check your answers at the back of the book, grade 8s. And anything you need help with, please email me. Try and help you out with that math. So hopefully that made sense today. Enjoy your delicious Red Swan pizzas. Okay.